Good evening, class. My name is Rob Kennedy, and this is week two's unit discussion, MIS 605. Today is Tuesday, January 21st. So essentially what we're looking at here is a point of sale information system that is hosted off of two separate locations. The requirement for this week's discussion is identify the architecture of the information system and propose structure improvements by listing components that are not necessary in the system, if any, and then components that could be added, if any, and or by eliminating and adding links between the remaining components. So looking at the infrastructure itself, I initially see I see a great diagram of a network architecture. However, to focus more on the information system, we essentially don't need the printers or the VoIP phones or telephones that are connected to the network, to the workstations, the client workstations. That would probably be the first thing that I would remove. I'm not saying that they're not going to be used, but for the architecture diagram, you don't really need to have barcode printers or network printers, nor do you need telephones. But you would need the client computers because that's how you're going to actually connect into the servers. The one thing I would add is I see that location A has one server with a backup, but then location B does not have any servers. Now, I understand that this is probably an assumption that both locations A and B are the redundancy of each, and the hosted location is location A, which is where server A or the server would be. My opinion, and being an IT professional myself, I would not put my backup at the same location as my primary server. I would put my backup probably at location B. That would be the first option that I would look at. The next thing that I noticed is we have VPN routers coming directly off of our DSL links. I get rid of all my DSLs. DSL is an outdated technology. It used to be somewhat dependable, but with the speeds that we can get with the cost efficiency, I would definitely get rid of that, especially if we're having our servers housed at one location and then location B trying to connect in. It's going to be a very slow, tedious, and low productive accessibility when it comes down to using DSL servers. So I would immediately go into either a coax style ISP, internet service provider, with their links being at least a coax link. If you most locations now have that fiber circuit link that you can actually connect into, which is the fiber optic technology and fiber optic cabling. For the VPN routers, you don't really need VPN routers. Ideally, you just need a router that's able to be hosted and basically be your core where your router wants to be. So that would be location A, for example. Location B would just be the connection that you tie in through the internet service provider and hosting a router on that location as well to make sure that you can tie into the network. And then again, finally, I would definitely consider the redundancy of having a backup server also at location B, just in case location A crashes. Location B can then become the primary, and then you can actually still function as on day-to-day operations. Ideally, that's really the way this diagram looks to me. Hopefully that all made sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks.